Okay, it's time. Let's get going. So come to lie down on your mat, feet towards the front, head towards the back. Happy Wednesday. Nice to see everyone. I'm going to do some lengthening this morning of the hips or the lower body. If you've got a strap, it'll be handy. If not, don't worry. We can use the arms and the hands. So come to lie back. And we'll just take a moment here to settle. So if it feels okay, extend the legs fully. Let the heels drop out nice and wide. Sorry, place the heels nice and wide. Let the toes drop out. So you've got a real nice width to the lower half of you. Maybe give the feet a little swish. Allow that to travel up the legs and maybe rock on the pelvis. If by any means that niggles your lower back, your other option is to bend the knees, plant the feet. Keep the feet nice and wide, but let the knees just drop in towards one another. So that's your alternative. And yeah, just let the pelvis be really heavy wherever you are. Almost try to point your tailbone towards the front of your mat or towards your heels. So you're really trying to lengthen it, but keeping that natural curve to the lower spine. Let the upper back and the shoulder blades feel quite broad across the earth, but maybe give the shoulders a little tuck towards one another, almost like you're trying to, bring them a little closer towards the waist and down away from the ears. And again, that should help you broaden across the front of the chest. As for your arms, just lay them out beside you, nice and wide. Hands probably coming off your mat, palms facing to the sky. And again, another option here is to bend at the elbows and just place the hands on the belly. Which is helpful for when we kind of tune into the breath. So again, your option there, guys. And take a moment to relax the face, soften the jaw. Notice if the tongue's up on the roof of the mouth and just try to settle it down. Relax the skin around the eyes, soften the forehead. Allow the eyes to close and just take a few moments here to check in and just observe how you're feeling this morning. Allowing stillness now to wash over you. Sometimes when we come to physical stillness, other things can start to stir. So if you feel a bit agitated or you haven't fully rested and settled, maybe just take a big breath in. Sigh it out through the mouth. By all means, if you need a couple more of those, just take them now. Big breaths in. Sighing breaths out. And we're just asking ourselves how we're doing. Are you just listening to whatever's coming up? Try not to be critical. Try to just listen without judgment. Knowing that this is part of your practice. And knowing that you're exactly where you need to be. Next half an hour is just about moving your body, finding and connecting to your breath. If you haven't already, let's start to find our breath first of all. You might just notice where you can feel the breath this morning. If your hands are on the belly, that will help you feel it moving. Might notice just a gentle rise and fall. And then once you've found your breath, just try to connect a little bit more closely to it. So you're trying to just breathe a little more consciously when we practice yoga. So nice long exhale. Breathe in through the nose for a count of 1, 2, 3. Breathing out for 3, 2, 1. Inhaling and exhaling. And just continue this conscious breath for a few more rounds. And again, we'll all have a slightly different pace, but the most important thing is just to be with your breath as much as you can. So following it on its journey, noticing where you can feel it. And this helps us to keep our minds focused on our practice. As we know, the mind will wander off at any given opportunity. So that's where the breath just helps us to come back. So don't worry if your mind wanders, it's natural. As soon as you notice, focus on the breath, and that will take you back to the physical body and settle the thoughts. So just take a couple more breaths here. Breathing deeply. Equal lengths of inhale and exhale. Trying to count for 3 and 3. And then when you feel ready, on your next inhale, take a full body stretch. Arms above you, feet away from you. And then as you next exhale, do the complete opposite. So draw the knees into the chest and give yourself a little hug. You might bring the forehead up to the knees as well, or you might just have the knees into the chest, yogi's choice. But just do that a few times now. Inhale to reach everything away, full body stretch. And exhale to draw everything in. Inhale to reach away. And exhale to draw everything in. Good. Next time you inhale, reach away. Just reach away the right leg, but both the arms. And then exhale, draw the right knee in. And then inhale the left leg. So we're just doing exactly the same, but we're just switching the legs. So instead of both legs extending out, we're just taking one out at a time. Good. And then we're just going to add on to this. So next time one of your legs is away, as you bring it in, see if you can lift it up and then give it a little hug. It's almost like we're doing like a slow cycle of one leg at a time. So inhale, reach one heel away. Exhale, lift the heel and then draw it in. Good. Then you can go a little bit quicker if you want with the breath, or just in a motion that feels good for you. But essentially one heel's driving away, it's lifting up, and then you're hugging it in. Good. So next time, the heel that's kicking away is your right leg. Once it's lifted up into the sky, you're going to drop the left heel down so that you're grounded through your left foot, and you're either going to hold the back of the thigh or you're going to grab your strap and you're going to loop it around the ball of the foot. And we're just going to do a few things here to extend that leg first of all. So it doesn't matter if there's a soft bend in the right knee, especially if you've got tight hamstrings, that's very normal, so don't worry about that. But you're looking to extend the leg as much as feels comfortable for you. If the leg's fully extended, you can then focus on kind of driving the heel and curling the toes. And then you can focus on kind of pulling the strap. But hopefully you've got a long enough straps that your arms aren't kind of extended. You want to have your upper arms nice and relaxed beside you, shoulders tucked away from the ears. And we're just, trying to be as relaxed as possible in the upper half of us. Also try and get the strap around the ball of the foot and keep the foot nice and square so the heel is really pointing to the sky. We're not kind of skew with the leg. Think about like lovely straight lines, hip, knee, ankle. Good, and that left leg, if you want, you can extend the heel away. I find it's a little bit better to have my knee bent and my foot flat to the floor. Again, whatever feels nice for you. We'll just hold for another 3 breaths here. So see if you can pull on the strap a bit more. See if you can extend the leg a bit more and drive the heel. Really focusing on the exhale. Good. And then when you're ready, soften into the right knee. Bring both knees in. Give them a little squeeze. You'll notice a little bit of difference between each side. And then we'll kick the left heel away on the inhale. Reach the arms up and overhead. Drive the heel to the sky and drop the right foot down. Same thing. You can either take the back of the leg and stay here, or you can loop the strap around the ball of the foot. Remember, if you're using the strap, try to place it around the ball of the foot and slide your hands down the strap so that you're nice and relaxed in the shoulders, upper arms are on the floor. And just remember what you know, extending the leg, driving the heel, pulling on the strap. Notice how the breath is as well, guys, yeah? Try and use the inhales to lengthen through the torso. Almost think about your tailbone and your shoulders, crown of head. And then as you exhale, think about pulling on the strap, driving the heel, extending the leg. Same with the right leg this time. If you want, you can kick that heel away. Yogi's choice. 3 more breaths. Good, last one. Really focusing on the exhale. Great, and then soften into the knee. Give both knees a little hug. And then we're going to meet in tabletop. So you can either roll to one side, push yourself up, or you can take a few rolls on the spine and come all the way up and over into your tabletop. Great. Okay, so nice and gentle here with the spine. Just a few little movements that feel good, like your cats and your cows, your swishes and your sways. Anything that feels nice for you this morning. Good. Okay, so when you're ready, tucking the right toes under, extend the right leg back, and just rock on the toes a little bit here, and you'll kind of lean forwards and backwards into the wrists as well. And then really drive the heel back and away, and that should feel nice through the back of the leg. And then when you're ready, we'll just lift that heel up, bend the knee, and just swing the knee forwards and backwards a few times. And as you do that, you can get into the spine a little bit as well. So you can kind of do a few cats and cows. As the knee draws in, you can round the spine, tuck the knee into the chest. As the knee draws away, you can dip the belly and open through the front of the chest. So just do that a few times, nice and controlled, there's no rush. And really try to focus on the knee drawing a straight line. So if you had a pencil on the end of your knee, yeah, you'd want to be drawing a nice straight line down your mat. Good. With the breath as well. So inhale, knee goes away, chest opens. Exhale, knee draws in. Good, and then next time the knee's drawn in, you're going to shuffle and step that right foot between the hands. Use bricks underneath your hands if you need to, and then try and walk it forward as far as you can. So once you've stepped it through, shuffle it forwards. So you've got that real nice length between the front foot and the back foot. And then you're just going to rock backwards and forwards here. Good, so inhale, come forward, and exhale, take it back. And same with the spine, you can kind of round it as you go backwards, and you can kind of open and lengthen as you come forwards. But just take your time here, easing hips back and easing your hips forward. Good. Walking the hands to help you forwards and backwards, using bricks. If the floor feels far away, just walk the brick forward, walk the brick backwards. Great, and then we're going to stay back. So really think about your back knee and your hip being stacked. And this front hip, your right hip, could easily kind of scooch forward. You want to keep hugging that thigh bone back. And same thing with this front leg as when we were lying down. You're working to extend it. You're working to drive the heel and curl the toes, and then you're trying to get closer to the leg as well. So it's those three things you need to think about: extending, curling toes, driving heel, and then folding over the front leg. And the more you feel you've got distance to kind of shuffle that heel forward or the knee back, you can go for that, yeah? Good, and then just stay in your half splits. Few breaths here. Really think about that foot being square this time. The whole of the sole of the foot is facing the front edge of the mat. Good. Okay, from here, we're going to spend some time walking the hands forward. But before we do, if you have got a strap, you can hook your strap around the back foot. So to do that, you might need to just come back a little bit with that front foot and hook it around. Now, it doesn't really matter how this looks. It's more about just getting a little loop around the foot. You need quite a long strap for this. Don't worry if you can't do this today. You can always work towards it over the month. So put the end of the strap closer to the front of the mat, and then walk your hands forward, shuffle that foot forward, and you can stay here if this is enough, really pressing that back foot down, lifting the knee maybe, because now we're stretching the front of the left hip. So this might be enough, yeah, you stay here. Maybe you lift the knee and just press the top of the foot into the floor. Or if you've got your strap and it feels long enough, you can pull that strap towards you. Sometimes it's nice just to kind of rest it on the shoulder, and that will just intensify that stretch. And again, yogi's choice. You might be able to reach the foot with the hand, yeah? But again, keep increasing that distance between the front foot and the back knee. Great, and we'll just stay here. Again, for a good few breaths, really easing into this on the exhales. You're almost going to that point of discomfort, yeah? And breathing into it, feeling that release, trying to get that left hip flexor close to the floor, yeah? We're here for 3, We're here for 2. Good, on 1, release, whether that's the strap or the knees just coming down, and then we'll tuck the back toes, we'll lift the back knee and we'll come into pyramid pose. Don't worry about the strap and where it is, we can figure that out in a minute. So you're in pyramid pose now. So both legs are straight-ish, yeah, it doesn't matter if there's a bit of softness in the knees. Inhale to lengthen through the torso, crown of head forward, right hip still pulling back, and then exhale over that front leg. Good, the back heel can be lifted, yeah? Feet are parallel. The positioning hasn't really changed of the legs, still got that length between the front foot and the back foot. Hips are level though, yeah? Remember, this right hip's going to want to scooch forward. Good, really nice. So from here, float those back toes up, and you can either stay in your standing split, or you might just be floating that leg up and down a few times. Remember, if the floor's far away, you use your bricks under your hands. If you're floating, keep going. If you want to hold, lift that leg high, walk the hands back for 3, for 2. Nice, on 1, let's forward fold at the top of the mat. So relax down, hang heavy, soften the knees, and just sway a little bit from side to side. So your legs will feel quite different at the top of the mat here, yeah? It's all right, we're going to even it out. This is called ragdoll. Okay, so yogi's choice. You can kind of walk back and take a vinyasa if you want. So you can step or walk back to a plank and flow through a little vinyasa. But either way, we're meeting in tabletop, yeah? So just take your options. So our first one. Great. Then we're back in tabletop, ready to do all of that on the other side. So you could actually get your strap ready now. That's actually not a bad idea. I should have said that before. So if you want, just kind of loop your left foot into your strap so it's kind of set up and ready to go. But when you're ready, especially if you've got a long strap, because it doesn't really have an effect on the other movements because it can just kind of hang out up here. Okay, tuck the left toes under, extend the left leg away, drive the heel, rock forwards and backwards a little bit. Good, and then when you're ready, lift the toes, soften the knee, and just start to draw those, or that straight line with the knee, yeah? Rounding as you come in, opening and kicking away as you come back. Good. Once you feel like you've done a good 5 or so, next time you draw the knee in, really make space for the knee, push the floor away, round the upper back, and then step or shuffle that left foot forward. We didn't need to actually loop the left foot, did we, guys? Sorry, it's the right foot. My bad. So that looping of the strap was pointless on the left foot because we needed to loop the right foot. Well done if you figured that out and you actually did the right foot. Oh, it's too early. Okay, so same as before. We're rocking forwards and backwards. Good. So just take a good few of those. Get into this front and back hip now in the way we did on the first side. Inhale to come forward and exhale to send it back. Good, and then when you feel ready, we'll stay back. So remember what you know. Firstly, we're trying to extend that left leg, then we're trying to drive the heel, curl the toes, and then we're easing over the front leg. Be mindful of this back knee and hip, yeah? You can shuffle it backwards. The deeper you get into this, Check in with the breath. It's really easy to hold the breath. It's really easy to round the spine as well. Try and keep the length. Hug that left hip back. Breathing here for 3, for 2. Really drive that heel, really curl the toes. Good. On 1. Ease off a little bit. Re-bend into that front foot. Sort out the strap if you need to. I'm sorted, I think. Little loop, good. And then ease yourself forward. And like this might be enough, yeah? Just getting this right hip flexor closer to the floor is enough for a lot of us, yeah? It's only if you can't really feel a stretch in that right hip flexor that we need to do a little bit more by, for instance, that option of pressing the foot into the floor and lifting the knee, or that kicking of the heel towards us and that using the strap or that grabbing of the foot with the hand. So again, yogi's choice on this. Try and keep everything square to the front of the mat and not be too skew with. If the floor feels far away as well and you feel like you're putting a lot of weight into the floor, just bring the brick underneath your hand. Help yourself out. And it's kind of like shuffling into this and going to the version that's going to work best for you. But like I said, we're trying to decrease the distance between your hip flexor and the earth. Yeah, we're trying to get as low as we can to the ground, but without kind of leaning. Yeah, we don't want to change the positioning of the hips. We want to try and keep them next to each other. And each side will feel different. You'll be able to go lower maybe on some sides compared to the others. Good. How are we feeling? We're here for 3. We're here for 2. Well done, guys. On 1. Release. Ease back. Send the hips back. Curl the back toes. Lift the back knee. Lift the hips to the sky and come into your pyramid pose. So inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale to fold over that front leg. Back heels just kind of hovering off the ground. Head's nice and heavy. The spine's still nice and long. Good. Breathe. Really folding over that front leg. Trying to be heavy. Think about rib cage to thigh. Good. Okay, so we've got those little floats of the back leg. So soften into the back knee, push off the toes, little press through the front foot, and then you're floating the leg up and down a few times. Remember, just a little bit of movement in the hip now. Just like we were swinging the knee, we're now swinging the leg. If it feels okay, you can pause at the top in your standing split. Holding for 5, or sticking with the floats for 4, for 3, as the breath, for 2. Really nice, guys. On 1, both feet top of the mat. Now, we already did a little swish and a sway, so let's be a bit more active now. Hooking onto the big toes or holding onto something. Might be the back of the knees, calves, ankles. Yogi grip around the toes, first 2 fingers and thumb. Little inhale to lengthen and then exhale to fold. And we're going to stay here for 10 breaths, okay? So just ease into this, counting your own breaths. Really think about leaning forward. So your weight is in the toes. Knees can be soft. Don't worry about the knees being really soft. Belly to thigh. And then instead of thinking about, I've got to get my head or my hands closer to the floor, think about, I've got to get my hips higher to the sky. So we're trying to almost lean forward and extend the legs and send the hips to the sky. Okay, we're probably about halfway. Let's take 5 more. Nice stretch. Good. Last couple breaths here. Relax the head. Okay, final breath. Go to your deepest. And then release. Ease off a little. Soften into the knees. Let everything be really heavy. Imagine you're carrying 2 really heavy bags in each hand and start to roll up your spine. Super, super slow. It's like stacking your vertebra one at a time until you come all the way up. Roll the shoulders. Maybe take the hands to the low back and just send the hips forward a little bit. Press through the feet, roll the shoulders, lift through the chest. Good, and then come back to neutral. Reach the arms up, maybe take a full body stretch. Little movement from side to side. Great. Well done, guys. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're feeling ready for your day. I think the sun's coming out. It looked a little bit cloudy this morning, but we'll see. So, great. Well done. Take it easy for the rest of the day. Notice how the hips are feeling. And yeah, well done. We're finishing standing, ready to go for the day. Have a good one. Same time tomorrow, working on strength. We've done our length. And yeah, hope to see you then. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Vicky.
Cheers, Eva. Thanks, Pam.